They thought they had me trapped. When the heavy steel door of the holding cell slammed shut, I saw my mother's face through the small glass window. She wasn't crying. She looked relieved. They had given me an ultimatum: sign the deed of my apartment over to Chloe, or they would testify that I was a violent, unstable thief. But they forgot one thing. For years, while they treated me like a convenience, I was the one managing their lives. I was the one who sorted their mail, paid their digital bills, and saw the things they never wanted me to see. They thought they were backing me into a corner, but they were actually forcing me to open a Pandora's box they'd kept buried for 15 years. And what I found inside, it made my blood turn to ice. I was held for 24 hours. Those were the longest hours of my life. My lawyer, an old college friend named Sarah, was horrified. "Martha, they've provided photos of bruises and statements from 3 people, your mother, your father, and Chloe. Against 3 eyewitnesses, your word is worth nothing." My parents visited me the next day. They didn't look sad. My father simply laid a folder on the cold metal table. "Sign this, Martha. We'll tell the police it was a misunderstanding caused by your mental breakdown. You'll go home, Chloe will move into the apartment, and we can be a family again. You don't want a criminal record, do you?" I looked at them, really looked at them, and for the first time in 25 years, I didn't feel the need to please them. I felt a cold, crystalline rage. I refused to sign. Thanks to my clean record and Sarah's help, I was released on bail pending trial. But I was barred from my own apartment because Chloe had filed an emergency protection order, claiming she feared for her life. I checked into a cheap motel. All I had was my laptop and access to my cloud backups. I started digging. I remembered when my grandmother passed away 5 years ago. My parents were frantic about her paperwork. Grandma always whispered to me, "Martha, you're my heir. You have my spirit." But after she died, my parents claimed she changed her will at the last minute, leaving everything to them because I was already financially stable. I found a digital scan of an old letter from my grandmother's lawyer that my parents had missed when they made me clean up their email archives years ago. It mentioned a trust fund. The truth was sickening. My grandmother had left me a legacy of over $200,000 for education and a home. But there was a clause: if I didn't claim the funds by age 25, the money would revert to my guardians, my parents. They had spent 7 years forging my signature on waiver documents, skimming the money to pay for Chloe's luxury vacations, her designer clothes, and her influencer lifestyle. But that wasn't the biggest secret. I contacted Chloe's ex-boyfriend, a guy she had dumped ruthlessly a month ago. He was bitter and ready to talk. "Pregnant?" he laughed over the phone. "Martha, she's not pregnant. She's in deep, Martha. Real deep." He explained that Chloe had developed a severe gambling addiction at underground casinos. She owed nearly $150,000 to some very dangerous people. She didn't need my apartment to raise a baby, she needed it because it was a clean asset she could sell immediately to pay off her debts before these people came for her. My parents knew. They weren't trying to help a grandchild, they were trying to save their favorite daughter from the consequences of her own crimes by sacrificing me. I spent the next 3 days gathering every receipt. Bank statements, the lawyer's letter, and, the Holy Grail, security footage from a doorbell camera across the street from my apartment. The footage showed Chloe sitting on a bench outside my building before the police arrived, calmly applying makeup to create bruises, and hitting her own arm with a heavy stone that I didn't go to the police right away. I wanted to see the light leave their eyes. I invited them all to our old family home for a final signing. They arrived glowing with triumph. Chloe was already carrying a keychain with my apartment's address on it. My father pushed the papers toward me. "You've made the right choice, Martha. Family comes first." I smiled. It was the most honest smile I'd had in years. "You're right, Dad. Family is everything. Which is why I wanted to show you something before I sign my life away." I turned on the large TV in the living room. The video of Chloe hitting herself and painting on bruises began to play. The room went silent. Chloe's face turned a ghostly white. My mother started to stammer, "That's a deep fake. You're manipulating things. And these?" I threw the bank records of the stolen trust fund on the table. "Grandma's money. That's bank fraud, Dad. That's prison time. And Chloe, I have the logs from the casino. You aren't pregnant. You're just a loser who gambled away money that wasn't yours." The shouting started. My father tried to lung for the papers, but I stepped back. "I've already sent a copy of all of this to my lawyer and the district attorney. The police are on their way to take a formal statement about the false report." The aftermath was a blur. Chloe fled the state that night. My parents tried to beg, then they tried to threaten me, then they tried to play the "we loved you in our own way" card. I didn't listen. I sold my apartment. I didn't want to live in a place stained by their greed. I took the remaining money from the trust fund, what little was left after the legal fees, and moved 3 states away. I changed my number. I blocked every single person who had commented on Chloe's post. Today, I'm sitting in a small house near the coast. It's quiet. No one is asking me to be the strong one. No one is stealing my bike. No one is using my heart as a stepping stone. My parents sent me a letter through a relative last week. They are losing their house because of the legal fees and Chloe's debts. They asked if I could find it in my heart to send them a little something to keep them off the streets. I haven't replied. Some people say I'm being too harsh. That they're still my parents. That Chloe is sick and needs help. But then I remember the cold floor of that jail cell and the look of triumph on my mother's face. So, I'm asking you, am I the monster they said I was? Or is this just what happens when the quiet daughter finally decides to speak up?